Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're going to dive deep into something that's at the very core of what we do here at Whole Family Care Home, the weekly council meeting. And trust me, this is way more than just another meeting. This is our guide to truly mastering person-centered support, and it all kicks off with one really powerful idea. I want you to just sit with this for a second. Choice is not a delay. It is the service. This right here, this is the foundation for everything we're about to talk about. You know how it is? In a busy home, it is so easy to get caught up in schedules and tasks, but the whole way asks us to see things differently. The very act of offering and honoring someone's choice, that is the service we provide. So let's start with the big why. Why do these meetings matter so much? I want you to think of them not as another chore, but as the actual heart of the home. They're the central hub where all those values we talk about, dignity, respect, autonomy, really come to life. And here's the most crucial point. The whole purpose of our council meetings is to create this dedicated, reliable space where residents are firmly in the driver's seat. It's not just where they give their input, it's where they give direction, their voice, their choices, their leadership. This is what shapes the home they live in. This is where a true partnership really begins. Now, to make sure these conversations are really covering all the bases, we structure every single meeting around these three core areas. First, we have home wellness. This is all about the physical space we share, things like chores, house rules, even feedback for staff. Then there's personal wellness, which zooms in on the individual, meal options, schedules, any personal concerns. And finally, social wellness, which is all about our life together, planning outings, events, and policies around visitors. Okay, so we know the why. Now let's get into the how. Your role in these meetings is so much more than just taking notes. You are a facilitator, and the way you communicate is guided by probably the most important principle of the whole way: autonomy before efficiency. So what does that actually mean when things get hectic? It means we intentionally slow down. We hit the pause button to make space for a resident's choice, even when we're feeling that pressure from the clock. It's this conscious decision to value a person's self-determination over that powerful urge to just, get things done. This is where real trust is built. And this slide right here shows just how big of a deal a tiny shift in language can be. Instead of a command, like "it's time to shower," we offer a choice. Would you like to shower now or after breakfast? You see that? One is a directive that takes power away. The other creates a partnership. It shows genuine respect for that person's own rhythm and preferences. This one is brilliant for handling those moments of friction. When a resident questions something, the knee-jerk response is, "that's the rule." But the whole way approach invites them in. By saying, "let's talk about what feels fair and safe," you completely transform what could be a power struggle into a conversation about shared values. You're making them part of the solution. Okay, this one is absolutely critical. In a moment of high emotion, has the phrase "calm down" ever actually worked? No way. It usually does the exact opposite, right? It feels so dismissive. But saying, "I'm here with you, let's slow this together," well, that does something incredibly powerful. It doesn't command, it connects. You're offering to co-regulate with them, creating a real feeling of safety and support. All right, so we've got the philosophy down. Now let's get super practical. How does an actual meeting run? This is our step-by-step walkthrough. The flow is intentionally designed to be predictable, reliable, and totally respectful. Every single meeting follows the same, consistent 5-step agenda. We always start by reviewing the notes from last time. This builds so much trust because it shows we actually follow through. Then we move right into our 3 wellness areas: home, personal, and social. And this is key. We never, ever end a meeting without confirming crystal clear action items. Who is doing what and by when? This is the step that makes sure our conversations actually lead to real change. And here's just a little snapshot of the form we use to guide the discussion. As you can see, it perfectly mirrors our 3 wellness areas and gives some sample topics for each one. Think of this not as a rigid script, but more like a roadmap to make sure we hit on all the important parts of life in our home. This brings us to what is, without a doubt, the most critical function of these meetings. It's not just about listening, it's about turning what we hear, the feedback, the grievances, the brilliant ideas, into tangible, meaningful action. This is how we truly make voices count. So the real question becomes, how do we actually do that? How do we take a piece of feedback, whether it's a complaint or a personal goal from someone's IPP, and transform it into a real opportunity for growth, for the resident and for our home as a whole. Let's look at a super concrete example. The efficiency-focused way might be to say, your IPF says you need to do laundry, so let's get it done. It's just a directive. But the autonomy-focused approach sounds completely different. I know laundry is one of your goals. Would you like to add reviewing the laundry steps to our agenda? See the difference? We're inviting them to lead their own goal-setting process. We're formally putting their goal on our shared agenda with dignity and respect. All right, and finally, let's talk about what happens after the meeting ends. Because the conversation is really only half the battle. The other half is all about closing the loop with clear documentation and accountability. This is what guarantees that every single decision and action item is honored. This 5-step documentation process is totally non-negotiable. First, you take clear notes during the meeting. Second, before anyone leaves that room, you read the notes out loud. This makes sure everyone is on the same page. Third, everyone signs the form, a really powerful symbol that you verified the notes together. Fourth, the form gets filed securely. And last, and maybe most importantly, any action items are immediately put on the agenda for the very next meeting. This creates a perfect, unbroken cycle of communication and accountability. So as we wrap this up, I want to leave you with a question to carry with you into your next shift. Because this isn't just about meetings, right? It's about 1,000 tiny moments every single day. This week, where will you choose to honor autonomy over efficiency? Because it's in those small choices that you'll find the true heart of the Who way.